Hey people, welcome back. I want to show you how I'm filling a tiny chip. I got this little chip in the top of my driver's door, and of course I don't want to look at it every time I get in and out of the car. So what I did is I put a dollop of paint in there, and I sanded it down a little with some 400, and it's still sticking up. Can I focus? It's still sticking up quite a bit. You can see it's got a lot of pores in it from gassing out. But what I'm going to do right now, can I focus this? Is I'm going to show you how I am going to sand this down and try to get it to blend in. So what I have here is a pen blank. This is a piece of wood, super hard. It's like ironwood or something. And I glued a piece of 320 on the bottom, and I'm going to wet sand it just to get it down a little. And then I'll finish it off with some finer sandpaper. There isn't a lot of paint to be sanded down on this door, so I don't want to take off any of the surrounding paint. So the next thing I'm going to do is tape it off around that little raised area and then just kind of wet sand it with this. And the reason I'm using this is because it's super flat and hard, and I can get in there flat, and I can see what I'm doing. If I look from the side, I can sort of monitor how I'm sanding that. Because like I said, if you just grab a piece of sandpaper and like use your finger, you're gonna end up grinding a lot of paint off from around that area, and I don't want to do that. So I'll show you. I'll be right back. Okay, here we are. So I taped off around that spot. I'm gonna just spray a little water and do some sanding. Now I'm not gonna show you the entire thing live because I like to focus on my work, but basically I'm just gonna look at it from the side and just sand it a little bit at a time. This is the 320, and when it starts hitting the tape, I know I'm almost flush. So we're just gonna do this a little more, see if we can get that down. All right, let's see where we're at. So it's still a little bump there, but much flatter. So we're gonna go now with a little bit finer sandpaper. Okay, before I change sandpaper, I wanna show you guys what I'm doing because I think it's working pretty well. So I'm kind of using the edge where there's, sandpaper right on the edge of that really flat piece of wood, and I'm just gently working this bump down, keeping an eye to make sure I'm not sanding the surrounding area, right? Because this is 320, it'll cut right through that paint quick. So we're getting close. As soon as this feels pretty flat, I'll switch to something else and see if I can just blend it, get rid of those edges. So now I'm gonna hit it with this little dowel with some 600 on the end, and we're gonna do the same thing. It's pretty small, it's worn down quite a bit, but you see there's still like an edge there. So I still gotta take it down further. Let's go. Okay, so I just followed up the other paper with some 1500 and some 2000. And I'm just finishing with the 2000. Let's take a look at where we're at. So you can see because of the color difference, but when I feel this, it's barely noticeable, and I think I'm just going to stop here because I don't want to keep taking material out. I think I can see right there, tiny bit of thinness coming up, so I'm just going to leave it, and I'll show you guys later when this sets up, and then I can cut the rest of the door paint. I did a little bit of cutting last night. It's coming along, not finished, but it's looking pretty good. So that's it. Like I said, it's not perfect. The color difference is somewhat due to the fact that I just put this paint on 2 days ago, and I noticed that the color does settle in and change over time. The paint on here is 2 years old, roughly, a year and a half. So it's pretty different, but it's fine. The chip is gone. I'm not trying to make a show car. It looks great. All right, hope this was helpful. See you guys later. Before we go, I just wanted to mention, in case you guys didn't know, and if you haven't been following this build, the reason I'm able to just fill a chip and then sand it and then buff it is because this is single stage. So there's no base clear on this car. The base and the clear are essentially mixed together. And this is how they used to do the cars, I mean, aside from doing lacquer. But single stage, this is the finish. The paint is the finish, which in this case, we're already seeing benefits because I don't have to do base clear, which is problematic. I mean, you could do it, but this is so much easier. Just fix whatever you need to fix, sand it, buff it, cut it, buff it, you're done. Wax it, you're finished. All right, so that's why we were able to do this kind of fix.